if I have pen and a piece of paper in the same room, suddenly I lose. When I start to draw, I forget everything. I forget to pay my taxes, I forget to telephone my wife or my children, I forget my birthday, I forget to sleep. You know, I'm completely not responsible because of my sickness, you know, of drawing. It's a disease. I try to transform that into art. The producer came and asked me if I had an idea for a movie, you know, if I had a story, if I had a concept, everything. And I didn't try to be honest, you know, I said yes. And what is the story? Yes. So I had to start, you know. And when Jim Cox saw the story, he realized that it was exactly based in a fairy tale. Jack and the Beanstalk. And I didn't know I was doing that, you know, it was very funny. And after I came back and I drew, and Sylvain came, he took my drawings and he worked on it, and I was watching, you know, he's taking my drawings. But he was doing his best, it was his turn, you know, and it's what we learn in movie business, is to trust.
Yeah, I was just finishing Planet of the Apes. Jean called and said, okay, it's a go ahead, and we're going to be working in Los Angeles this summer. So I didn't even have to leave Los Angeles. I just kind of parked my car on a different parking lot. But that's kind of how we've done it always, you know. Out of the blue, usually he calls and says, okay, we've got something going on. And I usually jump on it because I jump at the chance of doing something together. I remember being so high on the work that I couldn't get up early enough. I'd wake up at 5 and say, I'm not going back to sleep. And I would just pace around the apartment and get in my car, and I couldn't wait to get there. Which says a lot about finding projects you really want to be involved in.
It's science fiction. In my story, Jack is not looking for a treasure, he's looking for his father, because his father disappeared a few years ago. The father, Tom, is trapped into the giant castle. And the story is how the father and the son meet again. Animation style will be something, it will be a kind of surprise, because the original idea was to use the 3D CGI animation, but trying to keep the flavor of the drawing with the outside lines and the Moebius style.
The whole film is done as straightforward CG animation, the way people have seen it for the last 15 years. And at first glance it looks very ordinary, but what happens is the last step is we remove all of the CG texture and flatten everything, and suddenly everything turns into almost flat color, the way a normal, conventional animated film looks, with a black outline, which is very much the way Jean's drawings look. It's an interesting hybrid, and I suspect it's really where animation is going as far as 3D is concerned.
I trust Sylvain, because he will be in charge with the aspect of the thing. And I like the idea for the project. I think it can be something new and very interesting, and it can open a door for the future of animation.
As a concept artist, I think is more like a loose cannon who sort of drops in key concepts and generally deals with the director, probably more than the rest of the team. To some extent, a concept artist can be almost separated from the rest of the crew. You can be involved, but you don't have to be. And that's what makes that particular job nice. It's like, you know, licking the cherry right off the cake. I still get this high. I always do, because it's a personal relationship. He's somebody that I love very much. So
it was something very impressive. I was stuck in my seat, you know, with the sweat, you know. I did that, I did that. The idea was a family, a farmer, selling their product from planet to planet, you know.
Having a good technique where basically you understand what you're looking at is already a big plus. Is it clear? Do you get it? You know, it's much more important. It seems really simple, but it's probably the hardest thing. You have to understand the intention of the filmmaker. You can't be looking at frames. If you're looking at storyboard frames, it's not working. But if people start seeing the film coming together, and they become enthusiastic, and they become motivated, and they feel like they can start breathing the dirt right off the floor, it is never going to be better than the director. You know, the director determines what the storyboard has to show, because it's a record. It's like, a storyboard is like a recording of his intentions. So if the director doesn't have the knowledge to ask for a better recording engine, then it means it's not that important to him.